When we're thinking about powers of negative numbers, we need to be very mindful of the order of operations. In particular, remember, in the order of operations, taking the opposite comes at the same time as multiplication, which happens after exponents. So if we write a negative sign, then 3, then an exponent 4, that means make it negative after you take 4 copies of the number 3 and multiply them together. Right? Now the 4 copies of the number 3 multiplied together, that gives us 81. We'll get negative 81. On the other hand, if we put parentheses around the negative 3, that means we're taking 4 copies of negative 3 and multiplying them together. Right, now, when we multiply negative 3 times negative 3, that's positive 9. When I multiply together these two negative 3's, that's also positive 9. So this is going to be positive 81. If we want to write a negative base, we must include parentheses. There's one other pattern that we want to notice in powers of negative numbers, and I'm going to look at negative 1 and also negative 3. Now, negative 1 to the 0th power, just like everything else to the 0th power, is just 1. Negative 3 to the 0th power, likewise, 1. Negative 1 to the 1st power, well, I multiply by negative 1, I get negative 1. Negative 3 to the 1st power, similarly, multiply by negative 3, we get negative 3. Negative 1 to the 2nd power, multiply by negative 1 again. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Negative 3 to the 2nd power, multiply by negative 3 again. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Let's do a couple more. Negative 1 to the 3rd power, multiply by negative 1 again, that's negative 1. Negative 1 to the 4th power, multiply by negative 1 again, that's positive 1. Notice the pattern here. We have positive 1's alternating with negative 1's. How about over here? We multiply by negative 3 again to get negative 3 to the 3rd power, negative 27. Multiply by negative 3 one more time. Negative 3 to the 4th power will be positive 81. Again, we're alternating positive numbers and negative numbers. Now, with the 1's, right, the sign is the only thing that changes. Right, negative 1 to an even, right, all these exponents, 0, 2, and 4, those are all even. Negative 1 to an even power is positive 1. Negative 1 to an odd power, these are the odd exponents, that's negative 1. More generally, negative number to an even power, well, that's just the same number to that same even power. Just forget about the negative. It just becomes positive If we take an odd power, well, the result stays negative, right? Even power of a negative number is positive. Odd power of a negative number is still negative. And again, you can always get this by repeatedly multiplying if you don't remember the pattern. But keeping this pattern in mind is going to make our lives a little bit easier as we go forward.